Hey everybody. So what this is going to be a brief flight in the default Cirrus SR22 turbo. I think it's turbo. So basically they said they did some updates. I do have some update 14, so I'm kind of getting the feel for it. They did say there was going to be some updates on this airplane, and basically we are going to see what they are. So I do have a Navigraph subscription, so I have a chart right here that's up from my Navigraph subscription. If you have one, it will allow you to do that. This is basically the G1000 NXI system, and if you know anything about the NXI system, you know all of its ins and outs. We're not going to cover all of that because it's still a G1000. So there's a few extra things. I know the processor is faster, and I know there's some other options that can be added. I'm not really even sure if they added those in this airplane, but there's also supposed to be some flight changes, flight dynamic changes. So we're going to actually explore that on our short flight. Is the flight dynamic changes? Can you tell a difference, or is it no difference at all? And maybe it's more hype than it is substance. So what we're going to do right now is going to go ahead and taxi to runway. We'll just take one way 34, and we're going to head over to Kilo Sierra Uniform Sierra, which is Spirit of St. Louis Airport in Chesterfield, Missouri. We're departing from Creve Coeur, Missouri, which is 1 Hotel 0. If you ever visit these two airports, I can tell you that the Creve Coeur Airport really is like a family. Seems like everybody knows everybody there because it's a pretty small airport. And there's a lot of business traffic at Spirit of St. Louis Airport because it really is a reliever, for private jets, et cetera, et cetera. If you look at my shorts, that's where I take all my shorts from. So all those jets coming in and out, the Pilatus PC-12, and so many Cirrus aircraft coming in and out. Because I think there's five on the airport. I think four actually you can rent them, and I think there's a few owners of them. So I catch those coming in and out. But if you want to check out my shorts, by all means do so, because you'll see those airplanes coming in and out, as well as Gulfstreams and uh, some rare airplanes. I got a Commander coming up. I haven't posted it yet, but I think there's an Aero Commander, um, a couple Moonies, and there's one I think is a home built that's also coming up. But yeah, all of those airplanes coming in out of out of Chesterfield or Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Creve Coeur has a lot of smaller airplanes, Bonanzas, a couple of home builds. They also have the Aviation History Museum on the premises, and the EAA is also on the premises, as well as their youth education. And there's also a Civil Air Patrol youth education base on there as well. And yeah, so that's more like a family affair. Anyway, there's nobody on final approach. Of course not, because I turned off the traffic. So we'll go ahead and throttle up and head on out. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to change this to charts. I'm going to get out of that and see if I can go to show map. There we go. And then I'm wondering if this will zoom out as I take off. We'll see. We will definitely see. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm also using ForeFlight connected to my flight simulator, so I'm also using that for navigation as well. If you're an actual pilot, I have both Garmin Pilot and ForeFlight, and both of them are pretty decent. And all depends on your needs. ForeFlight plays better with others than Garmin Pilot does. All right, so ready to lift off. There we go. Okay, first impressions is that things seem to be a little more refined. So as I'm turning are a little more refined. There we go. So no, it doesn't automatically come out. You hit the home button and there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and bring throttle back. Now, I would like to know if they refined the trimming of this airplane so that maybe it trims a little bit better than it has in the past. That's been one of my biggest issues with Microsoft Flight Simulator, is the ability for the airplane to trim and not be squirrely. Because most airplanes are not as squirrely as Microsoft Flight Sim tends to model them. At least not in smooth weather, like I have programmed in here. Trim it up just a little bit onto the horizon. Let's see. Throttle settings set. It's not too bad. It's better than it was, but still needs a little. It still needs a little bit of. The trim still needs a little bit of work, but it's not as bad as it used to be. There it is. Landing on 26 right. That's 26 left. We're just going to make it straight in. Okay, so I've reduced the throttle. There should be a reduction in sound. It doesn't seem like that's happening. That should be a little more reduction in sound and a little increase in sound. Especially since there's no, since it's just a power level and no prop level. So you don't manually control the props. So down to flaps down. It just seems like there's
500.
Oh, there we go. It does seem to fly better though. It does. Compared to the previous one, there is some improvement, I can tell you that. Yeah, not bad at all. Definitely some improvement in flight dynamics. Definitely some. So I can say this is actually an enjoyable airplane to fly, more enjoyable than it was. So I can definitely see that. So if this is one of your favorite airplanes, or if it wasn't a favorite airplane, it can become one. I'm still partial to the Bonanzas though. But this right here, this is not bad at all. So I'm just going to say this: if you enjoy this content and you want to continue to see both reviews on flight simulator aircraft, and as well as the plane spotting, that's airplanes taking off and landing, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Like, subscribe, and share the channel. That's what I meant, not to the channel. But either way, go. We are at Spirit of St. Louis Airport in Chesterfield. So until next time, blue skies and tailwinds.